WW7CS. N7KC.
KD7ZYM monitoring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. KD7ZYM.
This is N7CS testing on Echo Link N7CS.
Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. It's a crossband repeater. The input is on 70 centimeters and the output is on 1.2 gigahertz. And we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 for our voice transmissions with a tone of 103.5 for Cougar Mountain. Also, to find out more about the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, Google WW7ATS. That's WW7ATS. That'll take you to our homepage where you'll find some information about our group, the frequencies we transmit on, and a link to the internet, to YouTube, where we stream our nets held on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 9 and 10 o'clock. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact before our net gets fully underway. Again, this is Dave, KD7CYM. Hearing none, again, welcome to the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. So far, signed in by video link is Rod, KD7QKU, Lee, N7CS, Bert, N7CS, Richard, K7ITX, Jim, N7QO, and myself, Dave, KD7CYM. I did get a text that Bob, K9PQ, and James, WW7N, will be late for the net this evening. So with that, let's start off the net and go up to Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma Land.
Thank you, Dave. Good evening to the group. KD7QKU. Like you say up here and over here, something in Tacoma down here. Well, let's see, yesterday was a big day. Finally we got new internet, new phone, new cable. We got it from Rainier Connect. It's a local company here. So far so good. I had Fire Sticks in all my TV sets, and so it's a streaming service, so through Wi-Fi I can stream it on all the TV sets. I don't have to be connected with a wire, so that was kind of nice. And taken a while. Every TV had to be kind of upgraded, and you had to go get the app for the Rainier Connect and everything. The guy got here about 10:30, I think. I don't think he left till 3:30 or 4. He's a really nice young guy. There was a conduit that's buried that goes, there's a telephone pole over in front of the neighbor's house to the west, and that's where their box was. And so he went over there and pulled on the wire, and sure enough, it was cut off here at my house. So it was an old wire, so he wanted to pull a new one in, so I helped him. We pulled the new wire in across. It must go under their lawn. I don't know where it goes, but it goes up the telephone pole in the conduit, comes out of the ground over there. So we did that, and then hooked it up. We just have, I guess you call it, one router, one modem in Joanne's office, and then it's Wi-Fi to the rest of the house. He had a lot of trouble with my little security camera that's out on the front porch. I bet he spent Jamie and Christmas 30 minutes or more trying to get it to work. He finally got it working right. He was a heck of a nice guy. He didn't seem to be in any hurry. He even gave me his phone number when he left and said if I had any problems I could call him. But he said he couldn't come unless he had a work order. But he said he could sure answer questions. That was a nice thing about him. They're kind of local. When you call, you get a lady answers the phone and she's pleasant. And when I asked her, well, if I want to get your service, how soon can you hook me up? She said, well, we could almost do it today, but you called kind of late, but we could do it tomorrow. And I've been waiting 2 weeks for CenturyLink to come out and try to fix our internet because it had quit, and so had our telephone. So, needless to say, we canceled them. All right, I guess that's enough of that. Back to net now, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks for that. Let's go to Lee, N7KC in Port Angeles.
Okay, here is Lee at 7KC in Port Angeles. I finally figured out how to get my name on the Zoom frame so it came up all the time with me not having to change it. Anyway, so that was taken care of. The only thing that I'm going to do is, Bert had it up earlier, but look at this. He's right here. he's following some ship right here. It says passenger vessel. Doesn't say which one, but this is the Carnival Luminosa. And, yep, 15.3 knots. That was, position was 19 minutes ago. But, let's see, the scale of miles is about 5 miles to the inch. So, I don't know what that is there. 10 inches. He's got 50 miles and 15 nautical miles. And so, 3:15s are 45, so he's got 3 hours to Via Bay probably, and 4 hours to Port Angeles. So I guess pretty close on that. Okay, I don't have anything else. Worked in the yard today. Oh my gosh, every place I look here, there's something to do. And so I decided, well, the yard was getting taller and taller, and it needs to be raked and mowed and all that. And if I didn't do that, I was going to get seriously behind on it, and the other jobs would just have to wait. So I got about 25% of our yard raked out and then mowed. I didn't get that part we needed. And tomorrow I'll do another, weather permitting, I'll do another section. Maybe get half of it done tomorrow. And so forth. So you just do what you can, you know, and have a good time at it. So anyway, I don't have anything else, and we don't have a whole big crew here tonight. Wow, so it's going to go by pretty quick. Well, anyway, back to you, Dave. It's 7KC Lee in Port Angeles.
So I'm hearing Lee on the computer and the radio both.
N7KC, thanks for that. Let's go to Bert, N7CS.
Okay, this is N7CS, and hopefully you can hear me. As Lee showed a minute ago, I'm on the way home, so my long trip sailing all the way from Australia to Seattle is nearing an end. We should be docking at one of the piers in Seattle about 6:30 a.m. tomorrow morning, and I should be off the ship by like 8:30 or 9 a.m. and then take the ride home to Marysville after that. I heard there's a new Chipotle that opened up near my house. It's within walking distance from my house, so I'm eager to go give that a shot tomorrow for lunch. But yeah, I'll book home, so I'll be home tomorrow. We're going about a little bit under 15.5 knots right now, and let's see, I'm not showing anything outside because it is like just gray right now. I can't even see the difference between the ocean and the sky, so it's kind of like, but very, very calm waters right now. So anyway, that's it for this round. This is Bert over satellite on Echo Link in 7CS. Back to that.
K9PQ checking in.
N7CS, thanks for that. And the net acknowledges Mob. K9PQ has checked in. And for an ID, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. And I see the net also acknowledges James, WU7N is signed on. So let's go to Bob, K9PQ and Bottle.
Okay, well, I've switched over to myself, and I'm showing that it's going out through my grand stream, but it is not showing up on YouTube. It did change from the picture inside our repeater room, but now it's just showing white. I don't know what's happening there. So I'm going to keep this kind of short, but yeah, sorry I was late. I got held up, and but I'm all set to get people out on the air and onto YouTube. I think James might need to make another change. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's see. What else? So where I was, I had gone with a friend out to walk down at by Husky Stadium. Out there's a green belt there, and we saw a male beaver, and they are big. I had no idea they were so big. So I got some good pictures, and hopefully I'll get to share those later. Back to net, K9PQ.
PQ, let's see, a beaver in Husky land. I don't know about that. I think they might have been an import from Oregon. Well, let's go to Richard, K7ITX in Kent.
All right, well, hello everybody. Great to see you all. And good news for you, Ron. The only question I have for you, Ron, is did you get the sports channels like ESPN and Root Sports? And so you'll get to watch the Kraken. Well, let's see, did you watch the Kraken last night? Oh, wow, I mean, how often does one person score 4 goals, and that was the 4th goal that he scored for the other team, not Seattle, but Dallas. The 4th goal was sadly the tying goal, but weirdly enough, he hit the hockey puck as if he was batting like baseball. I mean, it was the weirdest thing you ever saw. The puck is flying in the air, and what's he do? He just swung his stick like a baseball bat and knocked it right in for a score. So not only did he hit the 4th one in weirdly, he did all 4, the only 4, but luckily in overtime, Seattle still won the game. Anyway, I'm just getting all worked up and excited. My sports car team, sadly, I didn't travel with them to California. Next time I'll know better. Because 53 cars, can you imagine 53 Datsun 510s? I'm not kidding you. Florida, Colorado, Texas, Oregon, Washington. So we had a competition. I have timing and scoring on my phone live, and so I get to follow the act. So Friday, sadly, we placed 13th in the warm-up, so that was kind of scary. No, that was Friday. Friday was 13th out of 53. Saturday was 9th. So we did a little bit better on Saturday. Sunday morning, we worked our way up to 5th, and wouldn't you know, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the final event, the feature race of the day, we won, number 1. God almighty, it was just spectacular to think about. I wish, oh God, I'm so sad. So anyway, that was at Sonoma Raceway down south. And so now we're leaving tomorrow morning from Tracy, California, where we stayed for the last couple nights. We're leaving Tracy, California for Monterey, California. In Monterey, California, they have the Laguna Seca, pretty famous racetrack, and we'll see if we can do a repeat. It's pretty exciting. K7ITX, back to net control.
7ITX, Richard, thanks with that. Well, let's see, going down the list. Go to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Wow, lots of stuff going on here. Ron, what on earth is that I'm looking at? Ron, congrats on getting your phone and internet and cable working there. Sounds like Joanne might be happy to have the cable back going. At least it sounds like it's working, at least so far. So that's good. Lee, I did some yard work around here today too. I discovered I have a bunch of bushes and some critters are eating on them. Well, insects eating on the bushes. So need to spray them with something. I have to figure out what would be a good thing to use. Bert, getting closer to home. We temporarily had summer here, including today. Right now, it's 69 degrees here where I am, just south of Covington, and nice and clear out there. Absolutely beautiful summer-like day. You may have temporarily missed summer here in the Pacific Northwest. Tomorrow is supposed to have some rain and then widespread rain on Friday, if you can believe the weather guessers. Dave, beaver in Husky Land, that was funny. Maybe that was a beaver I was looking at. I don't know, almost looks like a bear, but I can't. I don't have the resolution on my 1.2 gigahertz here. Dick, yeah, Kraken, doing great. That's good. Happy with the Mariners as well. They won their last one. Haven't kept track of what's going on today. But I'll check on that when I get back. I've got that's being recorded. Let's see. You mentioned 53 cars. Wow, that's impressive. And congratulations on the win. And hope you get to do some traveling with them that suits you. Good luck with that. Monterey, down in Monterey, sounds like a song. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
7QO, let's go to James, WU7N.
Thank you, Dave. Let me make sure I get a thumbs up from Lee, way up there in Port Angeles, to see if you can hear me on Echo Link. Thumbs up from Bert, which is even farther away than Port Angeles, so I'm going to go with that. Well, anyway, sorry I was a little bit late too tonight. Bob, thank you for getting the switching figured out. I want you to tell us what you did to break the code. And since you started it, I'm going to launch tonight's trivia question with, okay, here's the quote, name the movie, Nice Beaver. Thank you, I just had it stuffed. Can you name the movie with that famous scene? If you can, that's pretty good, because that's actually a tough one. But we'll see if anybody gets it. Nice Beaver. Thank you, I just had it stuffed. So anyway, well, congrats to Richard on the win, and sounds like you really put up a good showing there. So yeah, that's fantastic. Other than that, let's see. Tonight, a signal report off Cougar Mountain. For some reason, I'm getting a really poor 1.2 gigahertz signal. A lot of rolling, although I do have a color signal off it tonight. So that's becoming my ultimate weather guess. Whenever I see a 1.2 gigahertz signal doing what it's doing tonight, I know we're in for a weather change. Weather was beautiful today. A wonderful walk, and saw everybody else out walking around too, because they too had seen the weather and were going to get rain, so everyone was trying to soak up the sunshine and the 70-degree weather. And it was interesting. I also went to Costco today too, and saw lots of people there all running around at going to and from Costco while the weather is great. So anyway, that's it for me. Whiskey Uniform 7 November, WU7N from Bellevue. Let me turn it back to our net control, Dave.
N7N, and it's ID time again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. Again, I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Well, here in Lake City, I got 66 degrees, fair outside, starting to cloud over. Going to welcome Bert back to normality. 50 degrees, overcast, and a little rain. So welcome to Precipitation Village. And let's see, Ron with the new internet did get his honeydew thing done. And Bob with beavers in Husky Land. I thought that was kind of interesting. And Lee, yard work. Oh my, I'm sympathetic to that. And Rich, car race #1. Fantastic for your group. And Jim, bugs. Get the bugs out. Oh my, there's always something going on. And for me, my yard was beginning to look like a bird sanctuary. The grass was getting up almost 7 inches tall. So I mowed the front and the backyard and the curbside area around the yard. And I think I'm going to disappoint the birds now. But anyway, mowed that down. The grass had got up almost 7 inches in some places. But I ended up mulching it in place in the yard, so it'll feed back into as mulch into the grass. So anyway, that was pretty good. But after doing that, my body is rejecting me. I'm just not used to pushing a mower that much. Next time I get a mower, I think I have to get one that's automatically propelled instead of being a push-type mower. But it did the job. It coughed a little bit when I went through the high grass, but it brought it back down. So it almost looks like a Zaboni had been gone over the yard. That's smooth. So this is Dave, KD7CYM in Lake City. So with that, let's go back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, this is Ron, KD7QKU. Well, let's see, it was a interesting race, I think, Richard. It would have been nice to be there. I think I would have enjoyed it too. Yeah, the Kraken game was just fantastic last night. I really felt sorry for the poor guys. They just played 7 hard games, and the last game was really hard, and they had to go down and play again. They went into overtime. That meant that they could play an extra 20 minutes, and I think they were tired in the 3rd period. But anyway, they did score the winning goal, so that was good. And I just can't get very enthusiastic over the Mariners. The Oakland A's are the worst team in baseball. They've only won 6 games. So I listened to somebody up north talk about them. And I didn't watch the game because I was watching Kraken. Of course, they said they were talking about the Mariners like they'd won the World Series. They just beat the worst team in baseball, and they had some rookie pitcher that I guess that struck out 10 guys or something, but he said he struck out 10 guys that couldn't hit. So I don't know. It just sounded dismal to me. Like I say, I just can't get any enthusiasm to watch him. Oh, Richard, we're going to go down to Dock 19 tomorrow for lunch. We should have been down there today. It was a beautiful day today, but we're going to go tomorrow. So, and it's 60 degrees here, and the wind has started blowing pretty hard. It was 74 here today, so temperature's dropping like a rock. So we must be going to have a weather change. Let's see, what else have I got? Not much, I guess. Enjoy listening to you guys. And it seems like when we were in Nia Bay and used to go fishing, it used to only take us about 10 minutes to run out to, Tatoosh Island and fish out there from Nia Bay. Our boat didn't go that fast. I don't think it went over 30 miles an hour, but it didn't take long to get out there, I know. All right, I caught many, many fish out there. Okay, back to net, KD7QKU.
QKU. Let's go to Lee, N7KC.
Okay, here's Lee at 7KC in Port Speaking of the weather, here's the console, computer console on my weather station here. The battery's up nicely at 2.74. That's really good. And we haven't had a lightning strike for 6 months. No rain today. Right now, it's not dark, but it's pretty dim. 4 watts per meter squared, 476 bucks. Yeah. And the wind here, not doing much. You can see here, we haven't had anything higher than 8 mile per hour here. Up there's one up around 9 this afternoon. So anyway, as you can see, I'm out of ammo. I'm shooting blanks right now, so I don't have anything else to say. Thank you, Dave. In 7KC, Lee in Port Angeles.
N7KC, thanks for that. Let's go to Bert, N7CS.
Okay, let's see, I should be on now. Let's see, hopefully everybody can hear me. Okay, got the thumbs up from James there. Let's see, so Ron, congrats on getting your internet and phone working. Sounds like that worked out really well, and they spent some time with you to make sure all your devices were protected, so that's really good to hear. Sounds like it's a very customer service-oriented company. Let's see, Richard, congrats to your crew on the race win. That sounds like a pretty big accomplishment there. Let's see, in regards to me getting back to normality, that'll be, I guess, somewhat temporary. So on Saturday, I'll be able to do the business meeting and the net from home. But then on Wednesday's net next week, I will be doing that probably from another ship. I'll be hopping on a 14-day cruise to Alaska and back. So that one will be out of Vancouver. So if the internet works, then I'll be talking to you guys from Vancouver next Wednesday. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see, other news. I don't know if any of you used to be fans of the old sci-fi TV show Babylon 5, but if you know that, there was a big announcement today. They're going to make an animated movie. I think using the original, or the cast members from the TV show that are still alive. A lot of them have died, unfortunately, but yeah, they're going to make an animated movie on that, so that'll be interesting. And I saw this in the news today that caught my eye. It said IBM is going to be pausing hiring of new employees because they said they can use AI to do the job of the next 7,800 people. 7,800 that they were planning to hire. So that'll be interesting. Anyways, this is Bird over satellite on Echolink in 7CS. Back to that.
Connected, K9PQ.
And it's time for an ID again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. So let's drop into Bothell to Bob, K9PQ.
Okay, guys, can you hear me okay? Okay, good. I switched to Echolink. I believe you heard my transmission fine, but my receive audio on my radio was like way down in the noise, and it's definitely on my end because my S meter is telling me that my signal is weak. So, it might have to do with the weather, but I think there's something else going on my end. So, anyway, that's why I'm on Echolink right now. Let's see, I had a couple of notes. Yeah, James, as far as the picture change being a weather indicator, or the picture, being a weather change indicator, that's sort of like the bumblebee, for in the ham radio world, I guess, tell you when the weather's about to change. Dave, the beaver in Huskyland, that beaver I can handle, now, because it doesn't talk, so it's fine.
As far as what I did to get things working, it was my own fault. It's what I didn't do that was the problem. On the GrandStream Connect page, I switched it to my input, or to the input coming from my GrandStream, but I forgot to hit save. I forgot to click save after switching it. So, click save, everything worked. How about that? Okay, back to net, K9PQ.
PQ, thanks for that. Let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
K9PQ, disconnected.
I remember that well. And, you know, and I'd fight that white screen, you know, every now and then. And I was just thoroughly convinced there was something wrong with the repeater or the, you know, just the connection itself to YouTube. But eventually I figured it out that no, Richard, the white screen is the typical white screen that I started to notice when I wasn't even having anything to do with our group or our watch. I'd get white screen just at home on my own computer because I was doing things wrong. And so eventually I thought, oh no, so it never was the repeater. It's always been me. so yeah, the notorious white screen, it generally means that you're not putting out any data. That's pretty much what I've finally decided, and I think Bert acquiesced to that finding as well to some point. But anyway, oh man, another trip. You're going to my birth. Well, wait a minute. I was going to say my birth state, but when I was born, Alaska was not a state. When I was born in Anchorage, Alaska, it was a territory. There were only 48 flags or 48 stars on the flag at that point. I can't remember when it was. It was 58 or 59, maybe even 60 when Alaska and Hawaii were brought in as states rather as opposed to being territories. So yes, Alaska's a fantastic place to be going, and you know, I'm somewhat jealous. I don't know that I'm jealous about, you know, being on a ship with a lot of people, but I am jealous to the fact that you're going to experience the beauty of the wilderness and all those doggone glaciers. Remember about fishing with my sister and brother-in-law in the Gulf of Alaska before. I wanted to stop by the store and get some ice for the fish box, and everybody just laughed at me. And I go, well, you gotta have ice if we catch some fish. Well, yeah, we'll have ice. Don't worry about that. And I figured out what they meant. There's chunks of ice in the water all over the place. You just scoop ice up out of the water and put it in your box, just floating around in Alaska. So anyway, that'll be fun to see you up there, Bert. And hopefully we'll get some good scenery like we got on your trip through Tahiti and all those fun places. New Caledonia, for crying out loud. K7ITX, back to net control.
ITX, thanks for that. Let's go to Covington to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Let's see, Jim. Comment, nice beaver. I am thinking, I don't remember the name of the movie. What I'm thinking of may be wrong, but it seems to me there's a movie with Bill Murray and he was at some in Florida at some golf resort. Darn it, I can't remember the name of that movie. Anyway, that's my guess. Looks a little scraggly. Let's see here. Well, Dave, I think you need to find some neighbor kid to cut your grass. I don't know. I used to do that all the time as a youngster, and then in the winters I would shovel snow. But you know, you need money as a kid. I don't know. I found that the neighbors gave me more money than just my allowance. So my parents had to ante up if they wanted me to do work around the house. Sorry there, folks. Let's see. Yeah, Bert, Babylon 5, animated. Huh. I can't say that I watched that a lot. I watched that a few times. It was probably opposite some other show that I watched more regularly. But yeah, people are dying. I wonder if they may use AI to fabricate voices of some of those people. Wonder, boy, that opens up another issue. I wonder if the family members would get royalties from someone using AI to replicate their voices. I don't know. Times are different. Bob, don't know for sure if you're on Echolink there. Sounds like you were for a while. Anyway, we hear you just fine on the 08 machine. And Dick, born in Alaska. Well, good to see you. And yeah, that glacier ice is really pretty good. It's slow to melt. Keeps things cold for a while. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
7QO, let's go to James, WW7N in Bellevue land.
Connected K9PQ. Picture up for the movie trivia quote tonight. Don't know if that's if you got enough resolution to see that, but that's the 2 lines and 2 freeze frames from it there. And that actor is Leslie Nielsen. So good attempt, Jim. Good attempt, Jim. But I think Bert may have it. Anyway, well, let's see. The animated movie, I had not heard that, so thank you very much for that information. And yes, I just was using a system today where I was voice authenticated into to a help desk, and the help desk lady said, well, thank you very much for using our voice authentication system. And I go, wow, I've seen spy movies where that's beat, so that made me feel good about that. But so yeah, it's I could hear, they even had my own heard my own voice echoed back to me at a later point when I had said something. So that was kind of an interesting experience. I don't know how long that system will continue, or whether they'll include additional authentication checks with that system or not, because that didn't sound to me to be super secure. Old save error. I remember with Cisco routers, people would get some big configuration loaded into a Cisco router or switch, and then there'd be some power hit, or they'd unplug it to move it into the rack or something and plug it back in. Goodbye, little bits. It was nice knowing you. You're no longer here. It's now back to default configuration. I got also, especially if it's a weekend, they're doing like something on the power system. I got a lot of weekend call-out bugs for those. Yeah, the good old days. I didn't know you were quite that old to have been born in the territory of Alaska. Of course, I just barely missed, the same situation because of the gold rush in California. But that I was well within that zone of being a state. But just as they say with the state flag, just barely. So anyway, well, let's see, what else did I hear? Okay, so that's it for me, for James, WW7ATS in Northeast Bellevue. Let's let Dave, our net control, take this microphone back.
WW7N, thanks for that, James. This is Dave, KD7CYM. Voice ID, that was kind of neat. I had Fidelity Investments. When I'd call up, they'd use my voice and say, you've already checked in, your voice checks out fine. Well, the last time I checked, they go by phone numbers now and the last 4 digits of your Social Security number. So I guess the voice ID went south or something with Fidelity Investments. So they have changed. You got to keep up with these people. You never know what they're going to do to be sure that it's really you when you call in. Oh my. So I suppose I should get another ID here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. This is Dave, KD7CYM. Oh my. I was thinking Jim with his bugs in his yard eating up his plants. Hopefully he can find a mild insecticide. I did something many years ago. I got some insecticide. I mixed it too strong, and it created holes in all of the leaves, almost like a defoliant. So that was not a good thing. But the plants recovered a year later, and they thrived all right. My rhododendrons were sort of holy rhododendrons for a while, but I guess that happens. And oh my, it's so good to see everybody. And Ron, boy, having the Kraken, being able to watch that, and I wonder if you'll be able to watch Mariners in the future with your new connection. You will? Oh my, that was your complaint before. You couldn't get the Mariners on the internet on your TV. So anyway, I know you're just looking forward to watching the Mariners. So let's go back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, thanks again, KD7QKU here. Well, Bert, I've been up there once up the inside Passage to Alaska. It was just absolutely beautiful. Really enjoyed it. I could do it again real easy. We had friends that, Joanne had a friend that lived in Sitka. They were my friends too, but they invited us up. I forget how big their boat was, 36 foot, I think. And they taken us fishing. And he wouldn't let me keep anything that was 20 pounds. He wanted me to keep everything that was over 30. And so the fish I caught up there were 34, 36, 37 pounds. Salmon, king salmon, they were absolutely beautiful. But that was a few years ago. I don't think it's like that now. Let's see. We used to go to Ross Lake in the summer, and we'd go up to Canada and then come down into Washington. There was a boat ramp up there. Otherwise, you had to go over the dam. If you went up from this side, you had to be transported over the dam, so you'd have to load everything, including your boat or canoes, on this truck, and then they haul you around the dam, and then they put you on the other side. But we chose to go up there and drive down a logging road and then come to a campground. I forget what it was called. There was a ranger station. It was in the United States, but you had to go through Canada to get there. You had to go up by Hope and then come back down. And we'd stay on Cat Island, and we could go across the lake. There was a stream that ran in over there, so we would go up there after school. So I remember when we went, it was, God, I just don't remember. Maybe it was in July, but we could go over there and get snow to put in our ice chests. So we'd take 2 ice chests over there and pack them full of snow, because ice would, last the whole week in your ice chest in those days. So we always had snow. That worked out pretty good. Yes, and so we got the new TV, new cable, and it's got a TV guide. My wife is happy. She wanted to be like other people. I had, put little antennas in the windows that I made, so we could get over-the-air TV, and you could get about 50 stations, but it was kind of difficult to maneuver through it, I guess, for her. So anyway, we were like everybody else. Now she has a guide, and she has about 100 stations to choose from. Yes, we do get root TV, and we get just about everything now, so probably cost us a fortune, but anyway, we got it, so we'll be happy. All right, I guess back to that KD7QKU.
QKU, let's go to Lee in 7KC in Port Angeles.
Okay, very good. Lee here in 7KC in Port Angeles. Well, we went streaming several years ago, and Paula was kicking and screaming. She says, maybe we'll try it a month. She says, if I don't like it, we're going to go back. Okay, that's fine. Well, I mean, it turns out now you couldn't press that thing out of her hand. I mean, she loves the streaming stuff. It is very nice. Very nice. And, yeah, I don't know. I buy unlimited bandwidth cable here. Well, the fast one anyway. And then the rest of the stuff. So we saved an awful lot of money by going streaming. I can't quote just exactly what it was. When we went to change cell phone carriers to, we're now Verizon. Verizon bought out the one we had for the 2 lines. But they haven't bothered, they haven't changed the price, so it's about $1 a day for each of us on our phones. So we're saving something in the order of $1,200 a year just on the phone. And then the streaming was another nice saving, so nothing wrong with that. And it cheapers, it works really well. We get a network error about once, maybe twice a week, and all you have to do is just restart it, and then everything's fine. So it doesn't happen very often at all. Actually, it's quite amazing. So anyway, well, it's been a nice net. I doubt it gets back to me. So yeah, Bert. So you're off on another one back to Alaska. How cool. Are you going to go up the Inside Passage to understand that, or are you going out west of Vancouver Island, you know? Anyway, I'll listen out. Maybe I'll hear it. I don't know. Maybe Bert's not hearing me. Anyway, so Dave, back to you. In 7KC, in Port Angeles, 730.
And 7KC, let's go to Bert in 7CS in the high seas off the Washington coast.
Okay, let's see. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Lee, to answer your question, originally the cruise I'm going to be doing in a week was supposed to be going through the Inside Passage, but they sent an itinerary adjustment out saying that they revised it so that we will not be doing that for some inexplicable reason. I don't know what that reason is, but anyway, let's see. Richard, so when you said you were born before Alaska became a state, for a split second in my mind I thought, I did not realize Richard was Russian. But it turns out I was off. My history lesson was off a little bit. I guess Russia sold it to the U.S. back in 1867. So that's a lot earlier than in my mind was thinking. So I assume you're not that old. So sorry for thinking you were Russian for a split second. And then the question about the AI voices and royalties. Yeah, I don't know the answer to that, but it reminded me of a similar thing that was mentioned on this cruise I'm on right now. One of the guest speakers they had was like an actor, director, stuntman, and he was giving people advice like if you ever wanted to get into acting, one thing you should definitely not do is do not get tattoos. Because if you get a tattoo, they have to track down the original artist that gave you that tattoo and get clearance from them that it's okay for their tattoo to be shown on screen. Because if not, it's their intellectual property, and at any time you appear, your tattoo artist has to get some of your money as an actor. So it's everything. So anyway, that's it for now. This is Bird over satellite on Echolink N7CS. Back to that.
7CS, thanks with that. And get an ID here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. I suppose I should pause and say, is there anybody else who would like to join the net? And I will pause for that. Hearing none, let's go to Bob, K9PQ in Bottle.
Okay, guys. So I have a number of notes. First of all, the picture you're seeing right at the moment is the beaver. I was not very far away from it. Unfortunately, the pictures are good from my camera, but they just don't translate very well. So I'm going to switch over to me. So I don't know if I translate that well either, but that's what you get. You get to look at me. Let's see. The AI, a number of things about the AI. AI with using AI for voices is interesting. I think it's the same idea as the tattoo is, they'd have to get permission before doing that. And you may have heard about the writer's strike that's going on right now. AI is part of what their concern is. Although it's funny, I also heard somebody say, there's no way AI can duplicate what we do. But at the same time, they want to make sure that they don't use AI to do what they do. So I don't know what's the right thing. 7,800 people at IBM. I wonder, the cynical side of me says maybe they just really want to lay off 7,800 people and not hire new people. And I'm struggling to see that AI will actually fill in, but maybe it will. Who knows? And I think AI is another deal with the voice ID, Richard, why your voice ID is not working anymore, because I would guess people can get snippets of your voice and use AI to have it say whatever they want it to say. I don't know how they would do that, but that would be my guess. James, it's a cop movie, and I think it's like Frank Drennan or something was his name, and for the life of me, I can't think of it. But you did remind me of another movie, which any of you that can get in, squeezed in before we end, can guess. And in that movie, he says, "What knockers?" And she says, "Thank you." So that's a different movie you might know. And let's see, very excited about the Kraken. And I think I will send it back so it gives somebody else a turn. This is K9PQ 73, and I am via Echolink tonight.
PQ. Let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
Well, what a lot of fun tonight. So yeah, I guess I'll keep it short. I'll give one personal report that I had my first heart catheterization procedure and came back with flying colors. They said that I have the heart of a normal 70-year-old man with severe calcified coronaries. So I guess that's normal. At least it didn't bother them, and I didn't get a stent or anything, or the balloon or any of that stuff. The main thing is, they're just putting me through the fine-tooth comb in case I ever have to head for Phoenix for what I've talked about before, a lung transplant. But now that I know that I've had this condition I'm thinking, well, there's no reason why it won't go another 5 years and just stay the same. And at that point, then I wouldn't even think about any drastic procedure at 75 years old like I've been talking about. So anyway, but, it's all good because all this research and activity and testing and things, I didn't know a thing. I was just clueless. And, as far as my wife and I were concerned, my days were literally down to just a couple, few numbers, but it's starting to look a lot better. And, it's just one of these deals where, you can have doctors, but that doesn't mean they know what they're doing. And so it's really important when you got a tough pickle to find the good ones, because the good ones don't know where to find you. They don't know who's sick out there. So it's really up to the people that are sick that want good help to hunt around and beat the bushes. That's what I had to do. It wasn't any fun, I'll tell you that, but I think it's going to pay off in dividends. So, yeah, I guess we're at the end of the road, and I'll say 73. I'll be getting out of here and trying to just get ready for some shut-eye. K7ITX, back to net control.
7ITX, thanks for that. Let's go to Jim, N7QO for a final.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Two quick comments. Dick, cardiac catheterization. Doctor said okay. Good to hear that. I don't know what to make sometimes of what the doctors say. I told my doctor not too long ago that I had less energy than I used to, and he told me that's normal. So I don't know. Anyway, good to hear what you experienced anyway. Bert, tattoos. Wow. I would think that if I paid for a tattoo, I automatically bought the rights to expose myself. That didn't quite come out right. Anyway, it just seems to me that the tattoo artist should compensate me for advertising his artistry. I don't know. He should pay me something. That's what I think. But what do I know? Anyway, that's my comments. Back to you, Dave, N7QO. Good night, everyone.
QO, and good night it is. This is the end of the net. This is Dave, KD7ZYM, the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. I'd like to thank SeaTac Repeater Association for allowing us to use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 for our voice transmissions for our nets held on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, KD7ZYM, terminating the net at 9 o'clock. Good evening, all.
K9PQ disconnected. N7KC disconnected. N7CS disconnected.
Bye.